Those are called Tim claps. You're welcome, Tim. So we're gonna check out some of my favorite metronome apps. I get a lot of questions about these because you see them in my lessons, and then you also see them in the different gigging videos that I do. And I like different apps for different reasons. So I thought this was a great time to go through it. Years ago, I did one on a particular app, but I think that since so much has come about and so many, you know, I mean, a year in tech is like 18 years. So I think this will help some of you kind of decide which one you like. Although I recommend everybody keep a couple of them on your device because they're really cheap. Like I spent $100 on my original Dr. Beat metronome. I still have that thing, it still works. But now they're like $3, $4, $5. Some of them are free. And so I would say just, you know, download a bunch of them and keep them on your phone and then use them for different reasons. That's what I do. I used to have a third one, but I don't keep it on there anymore because I just didn't use that much. So I kind of got it set up here. So let's get this out of the way. Zoom it in. Oh, lovely picture. Okay, so let's check out the first one. And I like it the best for practice and for gigs that I have short set lists, and that's going to be Pro Metronome. So if you check that out, that's kind of what that looks like. This is the one that I made a video on years ago. I still love this app. It's just they really haven't made that many advances as far as features, and so that's why it's slowly become not my go-to for every situation. So you got the basic layout. This is going to be your beat bars. You can obviously adjust that so that they have different sounds. What is happening on the back of my phone? Obviously there's a setting happening there. And you can adjust, the free version comes with certain things, and then the paid version you can also adjust the subdivisions you have, the triplets, 16ths, offbeat 16ths, all of that stuff. You can adjust where the accent is, the time signature, if you would like to. And so all of those are just kind of basic features that have to be there. Some buttons that make it easier. That's one of the reasons why I like this one, is because the buttons are bigger. And whenever you're on the gig, that makes it a little better. You can punch there, you can punch here, you can pull up that screen there. You can also tap out a rhythm. If you want to figure out, kind of estimate what the BPM, you can tap it there. The reason I like this in my practice time is because of this guy. And I can simply scroll with that, and it makes adjusting tempos very easy. Or you can go up like that. Now, this does have a set list feature, which I use a lot. And if you check this out, this would be a set list feature that I used for church recently. But I've also used it for a fellow named Robbie Johnson. So you can program a lot of songs in there, and the buttons are bigger. But there's some things when we fly that out, when we go to edit, there's some things that I don't love. First of all, they don't auto capitalize the words, and that annoys me. There's not autocorrect with the spelling. Little things like that don't seem like a big deal until you're trying to adjust things on the fly, and then they become a real big deal. But you can do the same thing. You just save everything in there, and it saves it here. And you can adjust. You can move things if you want to. You can, let's see, you can edit this. You can grab this and move it up or down. You can delete it, copy it, share it if you want to. A lot of the share features. Is that a new feature? Hold on here. See, I'm trying to share things, and it's okay. Let's see. I can share that. That's just something I didn't know. Okay, so you can share it by email, okay, cool. So that's a newer feature I didn't know about, but it's still not as good a share feature as the other one that I'll show you. One of the reasons why I love this is because of stage mode. So you can go to stage mode, and this is really, really great because these are huge buttons, you know, and I don't know what's going on with flashing. I'm gonna have to figure some setting has been hit. So these are really nice for whenever you're playing the gig, but you can see it doesn't show the full set list. So to get down to it, I can't scroll up or down. I have to click on that anyway. It's just not how I would want it. Playback controls, you can auto switch to the next song. You can set for a certain number of measures, all those things. Then we have the settings over here. The settings, we have different. What is the flashing LED? That's what's ruining my world. You can also mute these, by the way, I didn't mention, so you can mute beats very easily. That's nice. But whenever we're going through here, you have different tones. So if that one, what is that? That's horrible. If this one, too bad. No one will ever use it. It's like Pong. whole game. That's the one I usually use. Then we have that one that would just, nope, ear piercing. That's not bad. Not too bad. Cowbell. Hi-hat, if you dig that thing. That always blends with my hi-hat, so I don't love it. No one would ever use that. Why do they put the voice function? No one uses the, who, if you practice, comment below that you practice with this guy. 1, 4, 1. Nobody uses that guy. And then you can mute it for if you wanted a muted tone. All right, so we have that. Then we have the beat block. That's the beat block. We can also do a visual block where it shows the accents and subdivisions. You can do a rhythm trainer, which is kind of cool. The rhythm trainer lets you sit and mute certain measures. You can randomize how you do that, so you can set a certain number, which is really not random if you can set it. But anyway, you can do that. We can come down here for the bar counter, so it counts it down here. We've gone 30 bars, and it's muting it still. Stop doing it. Nope, turn that off. And then we can set it to vibrate if you're into that thing. I guess that would help. I've never used the vibrate function, just, you know, go ahead and say that. And then we have this, which is, oh, okay, what's happening there? What's happening? Ah! So it doesn't just light up the edges of the phone pretty, it lights up your camera flash. Okay, so there's that. That's Pro Metronome. I dig it. You can also turn it if you want to that setting, although I hate the look of that, so I never use that. All right, the other one that I have is Tempo by Frozen Ape, and this is the one that I use on gigs the most now because it's very, very, very easy, very, very, very easy to adjust everything on the fly. The only thing I don't love is the small buttons because I have bigger fingers. So let's just start with a set list. The reason that I like using it on gigs now, you can store as many set lists as you want. So you can see that I've got several of them stored. If we'll just pick one of these. Now, here's one thing that I do love if you have subs in your band. You can hit send, and you can send the tempo set list file, and you can also send it as a text file. That's huge when you can email a drummer, you know, how many songs are on the set list? 90 songs on the set list. And they can literally just click on it and it imports directly into the app. That's a big, big, big deal when you're on a gig and subbing for somebody. So you can add new songs here or edit here. You can obviously click and drag. That function's the same. Drag them around. You can delete them, etc. and so forth. So that function is pretty much the same. Now coming here, what I do love about this is when this is playing, we can hit play, automatically skips to the next one. But when it's playing, if I want to edit the song, it's very, very easy to edit the song. All we have to do is hit there, new or overwrite. If I want to overwrite this song, hit overwrite, it's going to overwrite that. Now, the thing that's important about that is, say you have somebody turn around and say, hey, this isn't 100 BPM, this is 102 BPM. Ah, okay, I'll hit it up to 102 BPM, hit that, overwrite, and we're done. So literally, I just overwrote that song and it's now adjusted for good in the set list. That's a big deal for me because there are times when I'm subbing for people and they've adjusted tempos and they haven't adjusted their master set list. So I enjoy that about this, the fact that you can send the set list and the fact that you can so easily adjust the set list. And then it's got all the other features that you would want. It does have a practice setting, a gig setting. Okay, cool. So that's a gig setting. It's got different set lists. You can control the volume, your practice, all of those things. Basic. Okay, cool. So now we can go to the other, and we can actually, let's see here. Let's get this going because we can, no. Trying to get the volume. Why don't you go up? Okay. So now we got the volume. Let's try the different sounds they have on this one. Blip one. Let's start from, not too bad. Not too bad. That's the one I use the most. Electro, if you're into that ear piercing thing. No. No, who would use that? Oh, it's awful. Wooden's not too bad. That's the worst shaker I've ever heard in my life. If your shaker sounds like that on the session, you're fired. I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you. That's a tambourine. Cowbell. Claves. Hand clap. Drum kit 1. I'm sure it's vastly different than drum kit 2. Oh, nice. Back, back, back. And then we have pro settings, just in case you're a pro. If you're a pro, this is the only setting that you use. That's all you need. I usually use blip 2. It's really well named. So you can see they've also got the, you know, you can do a full screen flash for that. And I guess it's on the accent, it flashes if you're needing to a visual thing. You can do a pendulum. Ah, I see what's happening there. I see what you did. I see what you did, Tempo. You can flash every beat if you're into epileptic seizures. You can use a small pendulum. So yeah, all these new different things, really the same stuff that's in the other one. But those are the 2 apps that I like using the best. And so, let me get this off of here. What's that? No. Those are the 2 metronome apps that I use on my phone, and the reason I use them. One, I use more in the practice room because of the, I like the old school wheel dial, like the old school iPod. I can adjust my tempos really, really quickly. I like the tap feature. I found it's more accurate than the Tempo app. And then I also like that one for set lists, for short set lists. So for oftentimes when I'm like playing at church, you've only got 5 or 6 songs in a set. That's really nice because of the big buttons. If I'm playing out though, and I need something a little bit more robust, the ones you've seen me running on the Gigging Drummer are always going to be the Tempo app, because I can send those files. I don't want to build it down in Pro Metronome because their send feature is not as good as the Tempo apps. So for a gig, I like the Tempo app because I can send those set lists to people once I've built it. Very easy to edit, very easy to overwrite. And the only thing I don't like is, again, I wish I had that pendulum wheel. Maybe there's a setting I'm missing, but I wish I had that pendulum wheel for a live gig, because whenever I need to go up like 30 BPM, you have to sit there and tap it or hold it, and it's just not very effective. So don't love all of the small buttons on there, but that's mainly because I'm a 225-pound guy and I have big fingers. So just part of the game. So those are the apps that I dig. Hopefully that'll help you a little walkthrough with those, help you choose the ones you like. But download them all. Pro Metronome you can get for free, and then some of the features you have to pay for later, subdivisions, things like that. Basically, if you want to use it at all, you have to pay for it. So those are the 2 I use, Pro Metronome and Tempo. Hopefully this has helped. If it has, share it with somebody that you think it may help. Click the subscribe button if you haven't yet. I'm always uploading tons of content, listening to you guys, trying to make what you need. So you're missing out on a lot if you aren't subscribed to the channel. If you need drum lessons, jump over to the website, obviously. Share it with somebody you think it may help. Leave me a comment. Let me know you stopped by. What's your favorite metronome? Maybe you use a different one. But no matter what you do, I'll see you here in the next video.